Last weekend, Lewis Hamilton started his 300th Grand Prix at the colourful Paul Ricard circuit. He currently sits 6th in the list of most starts ever, just behind Jenson Button, Schumacher, Barrichello, Alonso and Kimi, who tops the table with 349. Now in terms of records in F1 history, this is one of the few that Lewis doesn't hold, as he literally dominates the record books, having the most race wins, most poles, most podiums, most front row starts, most races led, most podiums scored, most laps led, and most people angered by simply kneeling down. But could Lewis add to this list of achievements and put himself up from 6th to 1st in the most races started ever? Well, when it comes to actually answering that question, there is a whole load of factors we have to take into account. The first being, will he actually want to stay in F1 that long? Well, Lewis is contracted with Mercedes until the end of 2023, meaning that at the very least he'll move up to the 3rd spot on the aforementioned list, just topping Barrichello's 333 by the end of next year. However, beyond that, his future is slightly uncertain. That was until Toto Wolff gave us all a bit of a hint into Lewis's headspace in an interview last weekend. Sharing that, we talked a few weeks ago about how long our partnership can go, and a number that was discussed was 5 to 10 years, so we can get to about 400. Now, whether or not Toto is exaggerating the 5 to 10 year timeline is unclear. However, at 37 years old, 5 to 10 years isn't really that out of the question. With Alonso still kicking about at 40, and Schumacher still racing at 43 on his return in the early 2010s, albeit not at the same level he was in the 2000s, but still, there is no time limit on legendary F1 drivers' careers. They've earned the right to choose when they're done. And by the looks of things, Lewis isn't done quite yet. During the post-race interview in France, Lewis was asked about Toto's comments, to which he added, "I still feel fresh and have plenty of fuel left in the tank." So it looks like Lewis wants to stay in F1 for at least the foreseeable future, and Toto's made it pretty clear that Mercedes will accommodate that. For a number of obvious reasons, having Lewis around in that team for as long as possible will be super beneficial. Not only will they have a consistent and rapid driver who knows the team inside out, but also a mentor for the young George Russell to learn from before he then takes over as Merck's main man once Lewis leaves. Now, personally, from a fan's point of view, Lewis really has seemed much more relaxed and happy this season. Well, maybe not at the start when his car was trying to put him in a wheelchair, but especially the last few races, Lewis has seemed super motivated and excited about developing the car and moving forward each race. During 2021, you could just see how the intensity of the title fight was affecting him, with him looking both physically and mentally exhausted after each race, which combined with the season finale Abu Dhabi GP show was why many of us thought he might even come back for 2022. However, I think that now he doesn't have the added stress of a title fight. It's allowed him to enjoy the sport a bit more and reignite that passion for F1, as he's clearly excited about working with the team and developing that car. A win used to just be a normal weekend for Lewis, but now I get the feeling that if/when he takes a W this year, it's going to mean a lot more than it may have done in, say, 2017 or 2018. So you can see why this environment may tempt him into wanting to stay in F1 for longer. However, when it comes down to it, it doesn't really matter, as we have to remember that Fernando Alonso is still in the sport, starting races and maintaining his 45 race start lead over Lewis. So no matter how long he stays in the sport, as long as Alonso's out there, that gap won't close. So for Lewis to actually top the table, he needs to stay in F1 for about 2 seasons after Alonso has retired, which at this rate may be 2047, because Alonso doesn't want to leave F1, does he? If he does do this though, he may also take the record for the most laps raced from the Spaniard as well, who topped that chart this past weekend, sitting a whole 1,526 laps of Sir Lewis in 3rd, which seems like a lot until you realise that 20 odd races per season, with 50 to 70 laps per race, it can close up quite quick. But let us know what you think. Will Lewis stay in F1 for many years to come? Do you want him to? Will he hit #1 in race starts? Or will Alonso hold on and take that prize? Let us know in the comment section down below. But until next time, lads, that's it from me. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Crash F1. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and yeah, I'll see you later.